Welcome to another episode of One of Us Knows What They're Talking About, and the other one is you. I'm Lori Burch, your host. Join us as we discuss and unpack wills, trusts, estate planning, and probate law in a way that's actually informative, interesting, and, well, hopefully entertaining. Because if you don't have a will, the state of Texas has one for you. Let's dive in. Let's just kick it off with Sarah and Sam. What do you have to talk to us about today, Sarah and Sam? If you say that really fast, it sounds like Son of Sam. Do you even know
Sarah
what that
and
is?
Sam?
No.
Son of Sam? Google Son of Sam right now. Do you know what this is, Cynthia? Oh, Lord.
Oh. Like the Alcatraz thing?
No! Did you Google it?
Yeah, Son of Sam and David Berkowitz, American serial killer known as,
Yeah, Son of Sam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, what do you all have prepared for us today?
So we have a list of things that are more expensive than estate planning. So you should just get your estate planning already.
Okay. And why, like, what about this topic do you think is good to take an episode to discuss?
I feel like cost is a huge thing that people are concerned about. They want the cheaper thing.
If you really want something and need something, are you focused on the cost? I mean, the cost matters. I'm not going to say cost doesn't matter, but like, what part of your criteria does that fall into?
I mean, like,
pretty high, I'd feel like.
Yeah, it kind of depends on what it is.
Yeah. And the value.
Okay, so let's say, Sam, it's concert tickets.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
So what goes into you choosing how much you'll spend for tickets to a concert?
Depends who it is.
It's like dream concert. Any K-pop.
BTS is back together, full band.
Stop.
World tour.
Does they break up next year? So I mean,
no, they have to do their military
service.
service.
Serving their country. They're coming back.
She's not joking, but yes, keep going.
No, but yeah, like they genuinely. Yeah, like old men are like you have to serve. It's
North or south?
South.
Really, Lori? We're starting off like that. Okay.
So BTS is coming back, right?
Yeah.
Location. I mean, the hope is that they're going to be in Dallas, but I think it's probably going to be.
Okay, just say they're in Dallas. Like you're.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
I'm talking about.
You asked me what goes into
What
it.
is the perfect storm? What is the perfect storm?
Yeah,
describe
so
the perfect storm. Okay.
I'm trying to.
So describe the perfect storm.
So in Dallas, what like the setup is like if it's pit, I'm not going to do it. So if it's seated near the front, I guess who wants to go with me? Because it's going to be easier to get like a single ticket than a group ticket, right? I mean, what comes with it? Like, I mean, with some K-pop concerts, you get like sound check, VIP, early merch, stuff like that. So, a lot. It's going to be a lot.
And why would you spend a lot? And what is a lot?
I mean, the last concert I was supposed to see them in 2020 before it got canceled, and that was like $350, not including fees, I think. So, like 500, 600, probably more. I think it depends, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm gonna end up being like how my best friend was for Taylor, and kind of black out, and suddenly she has spent a couple thousand. So we're gonna see how it goes. What about you, Sarah? Your turn to talk.
Yeah, I think this is also a really good Sarah one.
You'd spend a couple $1,000s.
That was for 2 tickets though for Taylor.
Oh, okay.
To be fair. Yeah.
I mean, it's a little different now that I have bills. Before I had bills, I would spend $1,000 on a ticket, no issue. But now that I have bills, it's like anything. I mean, if it's like my dream concert, anything more than $500, $600, $700, I'd have to tap out.
Who's your dream concert? Like who would
So wait, I have a question, Sarah. You're saying now 700 before you drop 1,000. What is that 300? Why is that so big?
You're so right, actually. That's
you're just gonna
convince her to pointed that out to me.
Well, no, that's kind of the thing. It's like, what is, because whenever I'm rationalizing a purchase, if I'm gonna buy like a new couch, and if the one that I really want is only a couple $100 more, overall, sure, it's 1,000 versus like 600. I'm gonna
in the end. Yeah.
I do think that's a good way to look at when we're making purchases, because if you look at something that's $400 versus $600, sometimes you isolate like $600 to have the $600, but you're going to get it anyway. So rather than just say, well, I don't want to spend $600, the real question is the extra $200 worth it?
Yeah, that's the way that I make a lot of purchases.
If you're going to do something or get something anyway, and I mean, really, it makes more sense and is more rational. So not to make this anything relevant to what we do for a living, but it's the same thing when people are like trying to price shop, is they may look at, an estate plan or a will plan or a trust plan, and let's say it's $3,500, right? And they're like, oh my gosh, like $3,500. For most people, that's money. That's real money, right? As an expression that I like to use, it's not couch cushion money. But then two ways that you compare it is, well, if you're going to call around and find like another firm that does it, because we're not even talking about the DIY lame stuff, but you find a firm that does it for, $3,000, but you know that there's these other things, this other firm you feel more comfortable with, you feel like they've got more support, you feel like they're more experts because the $3,000 firm is the one that does, both DUI, immigration, and oh, sure, we dabble in estate planning. A lot of the criteria that we talk about. Is it worth $500, not $3,500? Is it worth $500 more to make sure that you're getting the value and the service and quality that you want? And then the other point is, what if, because nobody has to get a trust or a will in place, but what is the alternative? I mean, if you think the alternative is spending nothing, you are wrong. Because at some point, this is going to happen, meaning you are going to, what we should do an episode is all the like euphemisms for dying. So I was about to say, one day you're going to meet your maker. One day you're going to buy the farm.
This is my favorite.
When the time comes, one day you're going to buy the farm, meet your maker.
Cross the rainbow bridge.
That's for animals.
I know, but still euphemism for death.
Oh, yeah,
they count.
Okay.
They're people too.
That would be a fun one.
That would be.
Sarah, why don't you think of these things?
Noodle on it, if you will.
Oh, I'll noodle on it.
Noodle on it?
And the great unknown, the great beyond. Anyway, pushing up daisies, 6 feet under.
Actually, fun story with pushing up daisies. My stepdad has asked me if I'm willing to make sure that once the time comes for him, that I plant daisies just in the confines around his plot, just directly over him, because he wants to be pushing up daisies.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm sure that the funeral, or not the funeral home, the The cemetery might not love that I do this, but I'm willing to do it in the dead of night.
Okay.
Secretly go
I wonder what
water
the
it.
origin of. I can figure out the origin of the pushing up daisies. What's the origin of buying the farm? I wonder. Anyway, back to my actual point is that it's going to cost no matter what. There's no way for things just to automatically happen. You don't automatically have a house transfer to your spouse or kids. You don't automatically have who's in charge that can go to the bank. The bank's not going to talk to just anybody when someone's passed away. So some process, some expense is going to have to happen. And on average, if you have nothing at all, and we're just talking about a house or a bank account, that can easily be over $7,000. It can easily take 9 months to even get what you need to get started. That's not the whole process. That's to get started. And then you have made no choices. It's only what the state of Texas decides should happen. So sure, might you want to save the $3,500 now, but you're not saving it. In fact, you are banking on the fact that 2 to 3 times more than that is what it'll cost to not do it. There's what's called an opportunity cost. What are you guys looking up? Are you looking up the origins of
Bought the farm.
buying the farm?
Yeah.
What did we find?
So apparently, it's not completely determined if this is it, but it hasn't been disproven that the claim that a GI's insurance was sufficient enough to settle mortgage back home. So in other words, finish paying off land or something of that sort. So whenever they passed away, it's like, oh, okay, they're buying the farm. Like the GI insurance payout to the family is enough to secure that.
Huh.
That's one
There's
I
also-
found, but there's like several. So Sarah, go for it.
I was just gonna say, there's a British version that's gone for a Burton.
Can you say it in your British accent?
Gone
Please
for
do
a
not.
Burton.
Okay, well.
Sorry. It was too late.
Well, you're gonna have to do it now, so when no one's talking over you, Sarah.
Ah, man, I have to do it again. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the British version is gone for a Burton. See, that one wasn't as good.
Neither was good. I don't know what you're talking
What
about.
does that mean?
It's the same thing. It's just like it's just British.
Just British.
It's just.
But what does it mean? We're looking this up. This is great. I believe for high quality podcasts, they probably do research ahead of time. But maybe not.
It's not as fun.
Yeah. It's expression meaning to be missing or to die.
Oh.
Popularized around the time of World War II. So.
Okay. But
yeah.
Burton, they're
British people.
anything?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. So what examples what other examples do you have, the two of you have, as far as comparing things, value, price, all of that?
Ours was more just things that I guess are more expensive. So the first one I said was death. Because it is like expensive for your family to die, right? Like funeral expenses just alone are.
Yeah, we don't talk about that enough because it's there's all these additional expenses in addition to what you have to go through with the court and everything like that, probate and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Or if you've like already prepaid for like your plot or earn or like Neptune Society, like that's not cheap. Or turning yourself into a rock. Like it's.
Wait, what?
You can do
that? Cynthia, we can't hear you.
There we go. Or people who want to do the decomposition thing along with, instead of being turned into a rock. This is one of Sam's fears, and I love it. This is one of her fears.
It's not. Well, it's kind of related, right? So you can go and like prepay, or like your family members to do it, where you send yourself like your ashes to this company, and they turn you into rocks. They put I think it's like clay mixed in, and they like bake you into rocks. And it's like I think 30 to 40 different rocks of different sizes. You can do it to your pits also. But they are like pure white. And so my brain immediately went to, what if you're walking on a beach and you see a rock and you're like, this rock doesn't match the others, but it's really nice looking. I'm going to take it home. And it turns out you took home a dead person. Like, isn't that kind of crazy?
Yeah, I love reminding Sam about this, by the way.
I had a whole hyperfixation on it. Like, what was it, like 2 months back? Like, I could not stop.
Yeah, it was only a few weeks ago.
It was kind of crazy.
So don't collect
really
rocks.
it.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Or
could
if
take
you
home
do
somebody.
collect rocks, if you have a really smooth looking rock that's a white, maybe go put it back.
Okay. All right. So next on our list.
Oh, yes, please.
Other things that are more expensive than estate planning. That purebred cat that you look at 3 a.m. Sam, what did you mean by this?
Like online, like you're searching for like purebred cats.
Okay.
And they're like what? Like $5,000.
Thousands.
You
Yeah.
can also go
Which
outside
one would
and
you
find
want?
one.
Which one would I want?
Not purebred.
I want a Maine Coon.
Huh?
I don't think it would cost $5,000 to get a Maine Coon.
Well, but I mean, like those like pure like white cats that seem to have a lot of
See,
problems.
are you going to make her edit out Sam only wanting white cats?
I don't want a
Hell
white cat. I like my tabbies. Thank you.
My very first kitty cat was a white fluffy cat, and I would tell you what its name was, but that's half of my recovery passwords. You know, when they have to, like, what was the name of your first pet?
Mm-hmm.
So
you know what I would
its name
want?
is.
I would want a Bengal cat. Is that how you say it?
Bangle.
Bengal cat.
Bengal. Those are cute.
Who just did the meow?
That was Turnip. That was my actual real life cat.
That was your actual cat.
Yeah.
She heard us. She heard us.
Yeah, Luke may have had to have quietly come in to remove her from the premises because she was starting to play with some cords, and I'm like, this is not going to end well.
Yeah, that mute button is elusive, isn't it?
According to
Sam,
do
you know about Devon Rexes?
They sound familiar.
Oh, that's kind of our dream cat. Besides having every cat, Devon Rexes. They're great.
Oh yeah, these cats.
Why that
yeah,
cat?
They're so cute.
Well, one, not my problem, but we first encountered this breed while we were doing block walking for my campaign, but they are hyperallergenic.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you read about their disposition, they're a friendly, loving, happy bunch. And at the end of the day, it's a cat. So why wouldn't we?
According to the sprucepits.com, the most expensive cat is the Savannah cat, and it can be around from $1,200 to $10,000. So,
whoa.
They get
can I just be that person and say, please, please, please do not buy wild animals and keep them in your home. F1 cats, please, please, please do not keep them in your home, please.
Apparently Russian blues are on this list. We have a Russian blue.
What are F1 cats? Are those cats that like race cars?
No, it's a really big problem actually that people have animals that are practically wild or one step away from they have a wild parent, into where I just have beef with, some breeding and some captivity, adopt don't shop kind of thing. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We adopt.
I've ended up with some pets that were just adopted for, or gotten for the sake of it. And it's like, well, by other people. And then now I have this other animal.
We looked out getting a French bulldog through an adoption site. He was only 6 months old because of despicable people who bought him and then didn't like medical issues that he had, so then wanted to adopt him out. Or yeah, so that's how we did that. But we adopt, we don't shop. But I'm on board with any kitty cats for sure. What's next on your list?
The next one that is more expensive than getting your estate planning done is a used car from 2016.
Is that what you have?
No, I just picked a random year. I gotta be honest.
Oh,
But it worked.
what
I
year
searched
is
and
what year is your car, Sam?
2009.
Oh,
Grandma.
Well, why not
Okay.
just say 2009?
Because I think I paid like $5K. Well, no,
Well, if you bought
$3K
it
for mine.
5
Yeah, I
years
know.
ago,
Yeah. Well, I got mine 2018. In 2018. So, I don't remember how much we paid for it, but it wasn't a lot because I think it had issues that my dad fixed.
Okay.
It's a very cute cat.
I know.
But yeah, I mean,
Look at that face. All right. So what else is something that's worth the price tag?
teeth.
that's
Teeth.
what I put on
Oh.
there. But I mean specifically, if you say have an accident and you need to get your teeth fixed, even just like a root canal, like that cost me in care credit like $3K, which is like
Oh,
crazy.
yeah.
So
Uh,
even just like
don't
that
ever get a dentist to do your root canal. Always go to an endodontist.
would you like to
I didn't-
elaborate as to why?
That's just their specialty. It's kind of like don't go to a general practitioner to do your will. Go to an estate planning firm.
Okay.
Okay.
They also have better equipment to get it done. I've worked both for a dentist doing root canals and for an endodontist office. Strange little. It's not really a deviation because it's not like for a moment there I thought I'd get into dentistry. It's just I guess that's a weird side hustle that I had for a while.
It was a side route, scenic route
in the dental field. You know, some people flip burgers. I did dental assisting and managed an endodontist office in Northern Virginia.
kind of fun, I feel like.
There were aspects of it that were interesting. We did a lot of extractions at the dentist office. So, and this is really terrible considering I have a very weak stomach and like I can't even watch I was going to say medical shows. I can't watch Grey's Anatomy, for example. Even if it's like great story, like, you know, people have loved the show. I can't because the chance of them showing something graphic that could lead me to passing out. It hasn't, but since people at Burch Law love to pass out, that would be something that could get me to do it. But yeah, like, you know, a paper cut could make me feel woozy. So don't know why, but you know, like when you're doing dental assisting, you've got the suction. And so when you're extracting teeth, you've got to keep the socket site clear for the dentist to see what they're doing. Because like if they accidentally leave a piece of the tooth or the bone or anything in there, then that's really bad. So your job is to fight with the dentist, basically. That's what they want you to do while they've got their tools in there. And so it's when you've got the big suction that's like a straw, and you just have to stick it in the socket site. Well, there was one time that we were doing this major extraction, and the dentist waved me off because she needed me to pull out the suction. And so meanwhile, the mouth is filling with water and blood. And then she's like, do it. And I had to put the suction back in with it filled with water and blood. And when it hit the mouth, it splattered all over my face. So
that would be my last day there.
Yeah. Luckily, you know, you've got a mask on, you've got goggles, and you've got that. But I mean, I remember just like wiping with my gloves, my face and my glasses and just keeping it in there.
I think I speak for all of us. Ew.
Ew.
I don't know how I handled that. Yeah, and then I have a vague scar on my hand from the time that I like hit my hand on the top of the autoclave. So the autoclave is like the thing that you put the instruments in that gets super, super hot to sterilize them.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping you would say you have a scar from like a kid bit you or something.
No, none of that. But yeah. Anyway, I feel like talking about teeth though brings us back to the previous conversations about our mother country across the pond. I don't know that people in Britain would have the same value on teeth as.
Actually, so recently, one of my brother-in-laws was in England, and they were having this like issue.
I think it's brothers-in-law. One of your brothers-in-law,
brothers-in-law.
not one of your brother-in-laws.
One of my brothers-in-law.
I don't know.
Because they make it sounds like it's your brother's spouses.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know that I'm right.
Spouse's brothers. Yeah, I don't know
that's the
either.
kind of stuff I love to dig into and
you go
discuss,
find the answer to that real quick. So he was like having this like situation. He's overseas and he's like, listen, I need to go to a dentist. So he went to a dentist in England and he was like, it was actually great. They were super nice. They were super polite.
No lines, easy to get into.
No, like it was. He said that it was genuinely like a pleasant experience. The doctor was very friendly. They were able to like talk about what was happening. They got x-rays done for like a very nominal amount compared to what you pay here. And it's like, no, they actually really just do care. They're not as caught up on the aesthetics of it. It's more of like, is the health of your teeth good?
I mean, in New Zealand, all throughout elementary school, like you had free dental like checkups and stuff in the school.
Whoa.
Ooh, let's brag
if you're
about having better healthcare in other countries. Ooh.
It's like a certain age and under you get like free, I think free dental care. But I don't know if it's like good because they did take out like 4 of my teeth trying to see if that would straighten them. So
So
are you sure that's why, Sam?
Wait.
Yeah,
or is that just what you were told?
Yeah. I mean, like that's what they told me.
Oh.
I remember because I went specifically to get these teeth out, and then I still had to get more taken out for when I finally got braces. It was still too crowded. I've had a lot of teeth taken out. That's weird.
Were these adult teeth or baby teeth taken out?
This is getting weird.
Anyway.
I think teeth are really weird when they're not in the body, like in your gums.
Yeah, teeth are
like, just
weird
like,
to think about, right?
People, I have found like baby teeth of mine, like going through stuff, unpacking stuff, and I'm like, this is disgusting. That's something serial killers do, is keep teeth.
I saw this lady on TikTok who kept her uterus, and I was like, why would you do that?
What?
Wait, hold on. Hold on. I have the story to top all stories. So one time I was scrolling through Instagram and I came across this video where there's this lady who was at like a Home Goods or something, and she's like, I am looking for the perfect jar to preserve my sister's uterus because she's having a hysterectomy done soon.
What is going on?
What? Anyway, so I'm sitting here, I'm like, surely not. This cannot be a thing. So then I have to
her name was Shirley.
No, I said surely. So then I go back and I find this person's channel. Sure enough. So apparently this is like a multi-part series. I unsaved it like weeks ago because it was done. Her sister was getting a hysterectomy. They asked the doctor if the sister could keep it, and they're like, yeah, sure, just come pick it up at this time. Here's the note for it. So the sister decided to buy, like on Amazon, like a med kit, like a med student suture kit. Because what they do is they have the uterus, they had to send it up to testing, so they sliced it in ribbons. So then the sister, like got it back together, reconstituted it, Frankensteined it, and then put it in this jar and sealed it. And that's a good half hour of my life I wish I could get back.
I don't know if I'd be willing to do that for my siblings.
Yeah.
Like that. That's crazy.
I definitely don't want to run afoul of being critical of something that's a different culture or lifestyle, unless you're a white person. But am I missing something? Like, is this like a different culture or country or something like that? Or am I just I'm not? Why would you do this?
I think it was just
People
for
just wanna keep
funsies.
their
I think
insides,
it was
yeah.
just like the sister learned that her sibling was getting her, uterus out. She's like, "Can I have it?" And she was like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah.
I think these were just some very close siblings. It wasn't
No,
anything
I'm pretty
religious,
close to my siblings.
cultural, anything like that. No, I think it was just for the funsies of it all.
No. I wouldn't have the stomach for that. That's crazy.
But I'm missing
No.
like, is it just keeping any sort of body parts?
I mean, I feel that's one thing because, they used to say Vikings drink blood from the skulls of their enemies, but like this is a whole different level of odd. Because she just wanted to keep it as a furniture, like a little furniture decor.
Yeah,
little
yeah. It's
piece.
just like a decoration piece, essentially.
Yeah.
I never want to hear this conversation again.
I'm so sorry.
What do
See,
you do when
I
somebody's
have
like, "Ooh,
this.
what's that piece?"
Somebody
And you
wants
say,
their
"Oh, it's-"
uterus. I don't know.
yeah.
You get to tell the story of why it came out, I guess. Like, I guess
You're
that's
like,
fun.
"Oh, don't mind me. That's just my uterus right there."
No, my sister's uterus, Sarah. Come on. It was her sister's.
Sarah,
Well, for mine, it was
Sarah,
her.
Sarah, do you feel like they have some understanding that you and I don't have?
I don't know because I don't get it.
Because I'm still
Hold on,
very
this is
lost, but
it.
you are still speaking about it matter of factly. Like,
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't do it, but like, I guess to some people, they just want to keep their uterus after it's
Listen,
decided it's not needed any
I
longer,
decide
I
to
guess.
listen
I
to
don't know.
things, and if I'm gonna go along and get the whole story, but then that's kind of it. Like, I'm willing to get the story and then move on with my life. You did this for some reason I can't comprehend. I'm not gonna waste, I'm not gonna stress myself out trying to figure it out. You just did
Yeah.
it. That's how I feel about this situation. But no, they didn't mention anything specifically cultural, religious, or anything like that. It was just something for fun.
They just asked to save it. Yeah.
And then later, like a couple videos later, the sister whose uterus got taken out, she appeared for a hearing for like child, I think it was like child support or something, and she wore this like little fake wig on camera, for the hearing. It was really funny.
okay, well, we're going to move on.
Again,
I
deep dives at like
I
2
will
a.m.
say, while there's lots of information about uteruses on uteri on the Google machine, I did not find anything quickly about rationale as to why people would keep one once it's removed from the body.
I don't think there is one.
Once it's removed from the body seems to be the key component, because I saw reasons why people would keep their uterus inside.
Well, inside your body.
Inside your body.
I really don't think there was a reason.
I guess we better move on to the next one then. Please.
The next one that's more expensive than your estate planning, and I would say this one was
Is that
probably
the
by far.
topic?
Yeah. Yeah, this one, children. Like, even I probably want their first like year of life, they are
Even before their
infinitely
first
more
year of
expensive.
life.
I mean, just going to the hospital.
Do you
It's
know what
really-
I love about this?
This was a great segue.
What do you truly know about this?
I mean, my nephew
Nothing.
lived with me for the first like 2 to 3 years of his life.
And were you legally and financially responsible for the nephew?
No, I was a minor.
I'm going to tell you something. That is a whole different vibe.
Oh no, 100%. But like, I've seen how expensive they are.
Yeah, whenever I get invited to baby showers and they're like, "Oh, bring this thing of diapers, bring this thing of this." And I'm like, there's a lot of options, first off. There's so many options. It's overwhelming. 2, which one do I get? And 3, why is it this expensive?
And then if you get like the youngest like version of the diapers, like, are they going to grow out of them really quickly to where they have too many and then they can't fit? Like,
Yeah, they grow too fast.
yeah,
I
like,
don't know.
I always go on the
Kinda
safer
crazy.
side and buy slightly bigger than what I think
yeah,
they'll need.
yeah. Because what if they're
they'll
like a
grow
hefty
into
baby
it.
when they come out? You know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, a lot of people have that philosophy of just getting stuff that's bigger because they'll grow into it. And yet, the time that you need the most assistance and most help is when it's a brand new baby. So it's like, oh, like I'm getting used to this. I'm staying up all night. I'm completely freaking out. Thank God I have diapers and clothes for 6 months from now.
Listen, Lori, have we had kids? Absolutely not. Are we planning to? I don't think so. That was your choice.
Yes, and it's a choice I would make over and over again. I think it's fascinating to talk about things that are mostly hypothetical.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you that the biggest racket out there is car seats.
Yeah.
So, and those things, in the forward facing and the rear facing and installing it correctly, and then you can go to the fire department and they'll show you how to install it correctly, and then they do that, and then you read the manual and you're like, they actually installed this incorrectly, and what does it matter as long as you don't get in an accident, right? So what makes it safe? 5-point harness, rear facing, forward facing.
I will say
they're hundreds and hundreds of dollars, like $500-$600 easy to drop on a car seat.
Since you started having kids, I've noticed brands a lot more, and like the Duna, I feel like I can point it out from a mile away now, and like different other types of car seats. So
yeah, it's pretty, like, that's early stages. And then the downside of the Duna though is that it's not built
it's like a weight limit
once they get bigger. But really, the whole beauty of the Duna is that it's a stroller, car seat, and car carrier in one. So that's the huge selling point of it. That makes it like I don't know how people did it without Dunas, but you get to a point where even if they could exceed the weight limit, you couldn't. Like, it's so heavy to like lift them up and set them into the car. And then installing it, like, I mean, when I had the Duna in my Mustang, I had to put the top down, put it in, and then put the top back up. There would have been no way to put her in the Mustang, and I refused to not have a Mustang. I actually thought that I'm going to change my handle on Instagram, if that's what it's called, to I have 2 car seats in a Mustang. I think that account could post a lot of interesting parental observational things.
Yeah, it could.
I do. I have 2 car seats in a Mustang. Because someone was telling me the other day, like, oh, my son, he had to get rid of his Mustang because he had a kid and he couldn't put a car seat in it. I'm like, wait a minute. Was it a convertible? Because if it's a convertible Mustang, I'm here to tell you, you can. But yeah. But I've officially gotten both Adley and Poppy into the back of the Mustang. It's not fun, and I wouldn't want anybody to watch me do it. It's probably not my best look, but possible. It's possible. What's next?
This one feels very like oddly specific towards Sam.
Yeah, that's very Sam specific.
I did kind of tire myself.
What is this?
Yeah, so things more expensive than estate planning is the blind box obsession someone in your life has but won't admit it. And I feel like this is Sam's time to admit that she has.
I only have like 4 or 5 of them, to be fair.
At one time or in one location? Because I think you have them grouped in clusters.
I don't know what this is.
Maybe like 6. So there's like obsession at the moment with a lot of people. So there's some blind boxes that you can get at like Tesso, which is like a Korean, would you say like convenience store, Cynthia?
I mean, yeah, but okay, Lori, think of it like, when most people go to get a Happy Meal, you wouldn't know what Happy Meal toy was going to come with it. It was just the luck of the draw.
Yeah.
Essentially,
it's like
you're just buying a box that could
From
have
where?
From any kind of like just
Nia,
place
Tesso,
that has
like
miniatures,
usually,
like little miniatures from like TV shows, from movies, like Oh, the LOL dolls that Adley gets, like how they're all different.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, like the
Or is
mini
it like
brands
the mini
and stuff like that.
brands?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that, just with figurines, essentially. Like there's one brand I really like called Emma, which they're really cute. I can show you them tomorrow when you're here, so you can see what they look like. But I wouldn't say I have an obsession. I did for a while, but I think because I realized how much money they were, I stopped. Because they're like $16 minimum. But there's this streamer that I watch who streams on Twitch who probably has about, I would say, like 150 to 200 of them, and most of them she bought herself. Like she could do a summoning circle behind her on her floor with how many there were. So I wouldn't say I'm quite there yet, but if I lit myself, I could be.
Okay.
So that's really it.
All right. Oh, I made a cat reference to this.
Yeah.
Next one.
Okay. And then the last one we have is things that are more expensive than getting your estate planning done is Formula One tickets in a private suite, but specifically it's just the deposit. Because I searched this when I was writing these. Just for a deposit for a private suite at Circuit of the Americas in Austin, $5,000, and that's just the deposit. So who knows? I don't know how much the actual tickets are, but isn't that crazy? That's a lot of money.
I mean, again, if the value's there, right?
Yeah.
So how many people have Formula One suites that don't have a will or a trust?
I don't know. We should go ask
I
them.
bet it's a majority.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of rich people go though, so hopefully they'll get their stuff done. They probably won't, but you never know.
No, it's just I guess all of those things, including death, sound more fun than getting your estate planning.
Oh.
Like your whole list. Or concert
Yeah.
tickets. Or whatever blind boxes are. Doesn't Amazon have something like that where they have these mystery boxes where it's just a bunch of stuff that people have returned and you can go get? I feel like somebody had told me about that.
That's kind of like a thing, right? Where like people will buy so many of those, and it's
Yeah.
I
feel like that must be close to an obsession very easily.
Yeah, because you can get whatever in those. Like the little blind boxes, it's just this random little figurine person.
Yeah,
in different
you know
outfits.
the options that you're getting beforehand. You just don't know which one.
Okay. So the takeaway is before you die, before you get your purebred cat, before you get a used car from 2016, before you get your teeth fixed, before you have children, before you buy all your blind boxes, and before you put a deposit down for your Formula One private suite ticket, you should get the long-lasting, legacy-lasting gift of estate planning. Thanks for listening. And just to cover all our bases about what you just heard, I'm sorry and you're welcome. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And tell your friends about us. We do webinars and live events. The best way to stay up to date is to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Links are in the show notes. If there's a topic you'd like us to cover, maybe you have a question you'd like us to answer, or maybe you just want to say hi, hit the link in the show notes or go to burch-law.com/podcast and fill out the contact form.
Much better.
Yeah, I thought that had a lot of energy.